The course that I'm teaching this summer is Introduction to Meteorology, and it's an overview of Earth's atmosphere, the weather that it produces, the climate of Earth, and a lot of the fun things that you tend to associate with weather in terms of tornadoes and snowfall and hail and lightning. So a nice foundational course that describes the Earth's atmosphere and the impacts that it has on other natural sciences.
My name is Stewart Scales. I teach Geography 1104, which is Introduction to Physical Geography. And in my class, I think the students can expect to get a broad understanding of how the Earth works as a physical system. We'll talk specifically at the first part of the semester about meteorology and the interaction of humans in the landscape, and then we'll move on to climate and biomes and how that is distributed all across the Earth. And then finally we'll talk about physical processes, things like volcanoes and geology and earthquakes and why we see natural disasters. So it's a broad overview of how the Earth works as a physical system. I think the students can get the most out of the Summer Academy program by interacting with their instructors as much as possible, just by having conversations in the class and outside of the class. But interacting with the instructors would be one of the greatest benefits of this, since we have such a small class size, and you can really facilitate those conversations a lot better than you would in a large class.
Participation in the Summer Academy, I think, has a couple of very clear benefits for students. The first, I think, is taking advantage of the opportunity to work closely with the faculty in these small class sizes, and to also work with their student colleagues that are in the class in such a small class. It affords them the opportunity to share ideas and to discuss things in a little bit more open, less formal atmosphere that you may get in larger classes during a typical semester. So I think the class size is a big benefit, and playing to that dynamic that they're afforded in these small class sizes is important. The second big benefit that I think of participating in the Summer Academy is, again, gaining an appreciation and cultivating this interdisciplinary nature of combining two courses that are possibly of different disciplines, but that play off of one another and that are interdisciplinarily related when you start to apply these to what's happening in our complex world and what you'll encounter out there as you look at what's happening, say, in the case of meteorology with the atmosphere and with the natural processes of the Earth. A natural marriage there in our view and in the real world environment. And I think the Summer Academy helps to cultivate an appreciation of how these different disciplines fit together and really play off of one another nicely. Well, as a meteorology professor, the Blacksburg in the summer conditions here, that would be my first inclination, is to describe the weather. And Blacksburg's very pleasant in the summer. I came from Arizona State University, where summers were not terribly pleasant. Blacksburg is wonderful from a climate standpoint in the summer. In terms of the town itself and the university, very relaxed atmosphere in terms of hustle and bustle. There's fewer students on campus. The faculty are a little bit more relaxed and engaged in smaller groups in which they're working with students. So a very pleasant, slower paced atmosphere to what might be encountered in early September when the fall semester really starts in earnest.
I think Virginia Tech in the summertime, it's actually very different than it would be during the fall and the spring semesters. First of all, since this is a part of the weather program, the weather's really nice. It's not too hot and it's not too cold either. But also from a community standpoint, Virginia Tech doesn't have the majority of the student body here, so it doesn't have the hustle and bustle that you get during the spring and the fall semesters. And there are also a lot of activities that go on in downtown Blacksburg, things like summer festival. So it's a really neat place for community, and the weather's nice too.